Energy media readers, if you have got someone in your household who's thinking of working in the oil and gas industry, they may want to check out a series of interactive games that are being released by PetroLMI of Calgary. And they basically, it's like a little test, and it'll give you some recommendations about where you should or where you should work in the oil and gas industry. So to talk about these interactive games, the virtual reality games, we've got Carol House, who is the Vice President of PetroLMI. So welcome to the interview, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Now, I have to say, I know nothing about how these games work. So why don't you just take us a little overview of what it is that you're releasing?
So these are a first of a kind. They've actually not been done before, and they are a series of games that we created working with a local company that does what we call extended reality, which includes virtual reality, augmented reality, all of the new sort of realities that we're dealing with in terms of gaming and video in our current world. And we started to work with this company to develop some skill testing games to help young people particularly, but also other workers in the oil and gas industry, people who are interested in working in the oil and gas industry, try their hand at some of the skills that might be required to work on some of these jobs within the oil and gas industry. We really targeted the services sector, so some jobs in the services sector, many of them might be entry-level jobs, and to try to just experiment with what some of the skills testing is through these games. The gamification, as we all know, is an area of growth for learning and training in a number of industries and in our industry as well. And this is the first time it's been done and applied to developing skills for occupations.
Walk us through how this might work. I mean, I assume that the person would have the virtual reality goggles on, and what would they see, and then what would they be doing in this game?
So there's two different types of games. One is we have about 8 games on virtual reality goggles. So you would put the goggles on and you try your hand at a number of these different these different tasks. We also have 5 games in augmented reality, which you can download onto your phone or a tablet. And basically, augmented reality is you're trying some of these tasks, and it incorporates both the real world and the virtual world. So you hold up your tablet or your phone, and you're looking at a drill. You're trying to hover over a drill bit and drill it down into the earth, and it to try and see how skilled you are at getting the drill bit down into the earth. You're also doing pressure on equipment, balancing pressure on equipment. You can be a dispatcher where you're dispatching a number of trucks to various locations and making sure that they all arrive to the location at the right time. We have a new little robot called Apple where you actually steer Apple through an environment to make sure that he's identifying safety hazards and ensuring that those are addressed. So a number of different kinds of skills like that, but in different environments, both virtual and also augmented reality.
Who will be using these or offering these, Carol? Are we talking about the SAIT, the NAIT, or will it be companies, or how does that work?
Well, part of our goal is to distribute these to as many companies and organizations and schools as possible. And we have another virtual reality game that we developed, which is a virtual tour of different oil and gas websites. And we have distributed virtual reality goggles to institutions to be able to share with students, to career counselors to help with them. So we can do it both through the distribution of goggles through PetroLMI, or many cases they have their own goggles. This is becoming much more common for a lot of organizations to have virtual reality goggles, or online. All of these are available online. They're not the same experience online as they are with a virtual reality goggle, but you can certainly access them all online as well. So we're trying to distribute them as broadly as possible in different formats to be able to reach as many different audiences as possible.
Well, this all sounds very interesting, Carolyn, and I'm going to check it out. I may have to borrow my son's virtual reality goggles so I can play the games, but I'm going to give this a try. Thank you very much for coming out today and talking with us about this.
You're very welcome. Thanks very much.